The last thing that we are going to take a look at is how to use the tools in CurrikiStudio to provide a differentiated activity. So I'm first going to look in the preview mode of this activity before we look at how to edit it. And I'm going to take it into full screen as well. Branching scenarios are our adaptive activity that are great for differentiation. You can use them as well for checks for understandings. They work excellent for choice boards. They can also work for independent practices, project previews, or your stations. We are going to take a look at the phases of mitosis differentiated practice. Here are my instructions for my students. Step 1, on the next slide, sort the phrases into the correct section and submit your answers with the check button. Step 2, your score directs you down your path. Click the proceed button to follow. Step 3, follow the directions to complete each activity assigned in your pathway. So let's go to the next slide and see what our first step gives us. Hopefully this looks a little familiar. Here we see the same drag and drop from our earlier look at the column layout. CurrikiStudio provides the ability to easily copy and paste already built interactions. I will show you how to do that shortly. Students will use this activity as their ticket to stations. Using the feedback feature shown earlier, students are provided instructions based on their performance. So students can come through, drag and drop their different answers, and when they go to check, they are provided feedback. This time the feedback says, follow the blue star path. Well, when I go to proceed, I am met with the branching question. Find your pathway. Am I a blue star path, a green diamond path, or a yellow circle path? Well, I was told I'm a blue star path, so let's look at what that gives us. Blue star learners scored the lowest on their mitosis quiz. So depending on the style of learning, whether you are in blended, flipped, or distance learning scenarios, this would be the group that would need to receive immediate remediation. You could provide them a text box with a link to an external website like a Zoom small group. You could provide them a course presentation, which includes dialogue cards for extra vocabulary practice, or another drag and drop, or fill in the blanks, multiple choice, exportable text, or true and false. You could provide an image hotspot or another interactive video for remediation, which is exactly what we're going to provide them shortly. But let's press proceed and see what the other pathways look like. So next, we're going to go down the green diamond path. The green diamond group scored between 34% and 80%. This group could receive a variety of activity types to practice and improve their mastery. Again, you could provide a course presentation and all that is included with that. You could provide an image hotspot, an interactive video, a text box that links them to an external website, or a text box that links them to another Zoom small group. Now, when I press proceed, we'll see an example of an activity they could receive. Here we have a fill in the blanks activity, which actually is the same fill in the blanks that we saw earlier in our column layout. Then the student presses proceed again, and they see the same quiz they initially saw in this branching scenario. I have placed this here so my students can now prove their mastery before leaving the classroom or finishing out their at-home learning activities. Now, let's press proceed and see what happens for our yellow circle path learners. The yellow circle group scored the highest on the mitosis quiz and have already shown mastery of this skill. This group could receive a variety of enrichment and extension activity types. Again, you could provide them a course presentation and all that comes with that with enrichment activities. You could provide an image hotspot or interactive video, a link to an external website or iframe embedder. And I have actually provided them in their mitosis extension with a link that takes them out to the mitosis mover game. So when my students click on this, they are taken out of the website and into a game. But let's go back to our studio because now I want to show you how we can edit and add in an activity that has already been made. So let's go back to my editing dashboard. Here I am. And I want to add this interactive video that we just made together into my differentiated practice as the remediation piece for my learners, my blue star learners. So I'm going to go into edit. I've already built this out so I don't have to do it again. I press continue. And now at the top, I see that I have a copy button. I also have paste and replace, but I want to copy this interactive video as is. So I'm going to click out of this and let's go back into editing my differentiated practice, which is right here. So I'm press edit. Again, my activity's already been described. And I will say that our branching scenario is definitely the activity that looks the most different from our other activity types. We can see the layout is different. We're not provided with the red asterisks for what we need to fill in, but it does allow you to really understand this adaptivity because you can see at the top where I have my ticket to stations. In fact, I can preview it while I'm in the activities editing mode. So here I see where my students had to fill out that drag and drop. Let's go back to edit. They then were shown this branching scenario question, their branching question. So again, I can show you what that looks like. That's this question that was provided. And then here are the different pathways. We have our blue stars, our green diamonds with their fill in the blank and their proof of mastery, and our yellow circle with their extension activity of the mitosis mover game. Now I want to provide an activity for my blue star learners. So when I look here at the bottom of my screen, I see where it says paste and add it from my clipboard. So I'm going to press that and I already can see that interactive video that we just made together is available and I see all the different spots that I can add it to. Well, I want it to be the next thing my blue star learners work on. Notice it opens it back up and I can edit it further. So when I edit it here, if I wanted to add an additional interaction, it would not mess up the interactions I have in my other version of this activity type. It would only edit the activity as it is in this interaction. So I'm not going to edit it any further, but I do know if my green diamonds need to prove their mastery, my blue stars need to as well. So within the branching scenario feature, I can copy as well. So if I look at my proof of mastery that I've already made, and I look at my little icon right here, I'm going to click on that and press copy. Now I have copied that proof of mastery. So when I come over to paste, I now have it in the form of the course presentation, which is my proof of mastery. I'll add that in. Same thing, I can edit it further if I would like. I'm not going to do that though. I like it how it is. I press done. And now my blue star learner has their pathway. So let's see what this looks like in preview mode. So I'm going to press finish, get that all saved. And let's go through this again as a blue star learner. So they are met with the initial screen, and I can go into full screen mode on this one. So here's the screen that starts. They're going to start the course. Here are their instructions. They go to the next slide. Here is their drag and drop that allows them to see what path they are. So I'm the blue star path. Press proceed, blue star path. I'm met with the text that I already had in. But when I press proceed now, I'm met with the interactive video with our interaction where I must do a drag text, prophase, centromere, check my work, excellent job. Press proceed again. And here is my proof of mastery. And when I press proceed again, I'm met with the final screen to restart the course or move on. So there we have seen how to build out within our CurrikiStudio tool. But the next important piece and the last important piece is how on earth do we provide this content for our students? So it is now time to publish this content, my science class, to our learning management system. So I'm back in my project dashboard, and I'm going to click the 3 vertical dots. And I will say that there are multiple ways to share your content. This is just how I've decided to share mine. So here are my 3 dots. I'm going to click on that. I see where it says publish and where it says Google Classroom, because that's where my students are getting their materials. Now it prompts me with this screen, so I need to log in with my Google. It asks if I'm sure I want to submit this project onto my Google Classroom. I am sure. I'm confirming that. And it says it's publishing. So let's head over to my classroom and let's refresh the page and see if it's there. And here it is. Here is my science project. So I'm going to accept this class. I'm prompted with this screen. I have read and agree with the notice. And now I can see the activities that I have built out for my phases of mitosis. Again, if I click on this, I can provide any additional instructions I would like to in my Google Classroom, but my students can click on the link and they are provided with the activities that I have created. So this is an example of the flashcards that I created for my phases of mitosis. I hope that you all have enjoyed this quick glimpse into how CurrikiStudio provides the ability for you to easily transform any content into quality interactive experiences. Thank you so much for your time today.
Wonderful job. Can I ask you a few questions that if you stay on here for a quick moment?
Absolutely.
2 items that I think we could do in real time would be helpful for the group. One, could you clarify what the hotspot look is? Could you show a quick example of that? That came through a few questions here, and we know how valuable that is in the process of converting content. And the other is a question for the larger group while you pulled it up, Caroline, was can we publish to Canvas? And the answer is yes, Stella. We have an active integration with Canvas Learning Management System now. And then at the end of this week, we'll be adding in Schoology and Desire to Learn. So we're adding in learning management systems that are pervasive throughout K-12 and higher ed. We can actually show you what that may look like as well. But Caroline, take it away on the hotspot.
Absolutely. So here is an example of an image hotspot, and these little icons are customizable. I probably should have made these a little clearer for us, but here I've taken a map of the United States and provided a hotspot in each of our national parks. So here, when I click on that, I'm provided an image from the book, Our Great Big Backyard. And so students can see the image from the book that was provided that was describing the Everglades National Park. So that's an example here. And I also have a few other examples I can show. What's excellent about our hotspot is that you can provide an image like I'm doing here. You can also provide a video. So when you provide videos, that can be an MP4 file or a YouTube video. And you can also provide just text. So I have provided images in this example. Let me see if I can find another example real quick of another image hotspot. I do have my activity sampler. So let's scroll on over to an image hotspot. So this example it's on the United States map as well, but here we can see where we have text and image added in. So they click wherever the hotspots have been placed and they're provided the content. So this is an excellent tool. You also have a tool called Find the Hotspot, where students must find and click on the spot where they believe that information or content is housed. I'm not sure if I have an example of that offhand, but it's another wonderful tool.
Thank you very much for that, Caroline. And there's plenty of questions coming in with regards to how do I practice? How do I play? I do want to share that when you register for CurrikiStudio, you will have a series of playlists available for you. One will be this activity sampler that Caroline is showing right now that gives you a a template, if you will, of all of the item types that allow you to copy and edit, but give you in real time an example of what those experiences will look like. So that's a great way to get started. And the other question that came in, and Caroline and Abby and the team have created a wonderful how-to playlist. So we are using our CurrikiStudio playlist to show how to refresh on how to create assets and publish, etc. within the tool. So we've tried to build as many self-help training points within this studio to encourage adoption and engagement.